Good evening. Welcome to week 4 of the Iman Report. We are going to preview the week 4 games versus the spread. And we do have a couple games this week that might likely be delayed unfortunately due to COVID-19. We'll get to those games a little bit later. But it is Wednesday, September 30th. Hope everybody's having a good night. We are going to start off with the Thursday night game of the week. Toilet Bowl game on Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. The New York Jets against the Denver Broncos. The Jets come in as the 2.5 favorites. And this is more of a pick-em game. This might be the best chance of the Jets winning a football game this year. The Jets are going up against Denver's third-string, newly named backup quarterback, Brett Rypien, who might or might not be any better than the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad Jeff Driscoll. Driscoll was downright awful last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The only thing that I think will help the Broncos maybe get their first win this week is that they have a good defense. In the same breath, the Jets can shut down the run game. That might be the one thing the Jets can do right. So who wins this game? Who cares, maybe? I'm going to go Jets. I don't like seeing teams go 0-16. This might be the best chance for the Jets to get a win. And this would save Adam Gase's job. So for 1 week, we're going to say Jets, 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 Jets. They get the win. And they get their first win. Probably might be their only win of the year. And Adam Gase lives another day. Now on to the Sunday games. The Cleveland Browns against the Dallas Cowboys. This might actually be a good game. Cleveland 2-1. Last week, the defense actually played some better football. Baker Mayfield's playing better. We're actually seeing an Odell Beckham Jr. sighting. Nick Chubb running the football. Dallas can't tackle. But I think Cleveland is a step down from Seattle. The problem is, I haven't seen much of a defense from Dallas this year. Dallas has allowed close to 30 points in all 3 of their games. If Dallas wants to win, they are going to have to tackle. They have to get Zeke involved. Maybe Dak can win a shootout with Baker. I don't know. But I don't think this is going to be... I think this is going to be a very close game in Arlington. I'm not confident Dallas covers the 4-point spread in this game. Dallas, the 4.5-point favorites. I think Cleveland's going to keep it fairly close. And it wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland actually pulls off an upset here if the Dallas defense continues to play terrible and Mike McCarthy continues to depend on Dak Prescott's arm. The best way to victory is to get Ezekiel Elliott involved in the game. I think maybe we see a better Dallas defense this week. I am going to take Dallas to win. In a game that is very likely going to be postponed till Monday or Tuesday due to COVID-19, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Tennessee to play the Titans. The Steelers are the 2-point favorites in this game. Steelers 3-0. Big Ben hasn't had to rely much on his arm, and they've been very successful in running the ball this year. It has mostly been James Conner. James Conner has ran for over 100 yards in his past 2 games. If the Steelers can run, it's going to be a long day. The Titans' defense has not been good. They have allowed 30 points or more against some terrible teams. 30 points to the Jaguars, 30 points to the Vikings. They almost got upset by the Vikings this last week. I don't know if you can rely on Tannehill having to use his arm to beat the Steelers. If Tennessee wants any chance at beating the Steelers, it's got to be Derrick Henry. He's got to run the football. The Titans' defense actually has to tackle. The Steelers' defense is good. I think they're going to make life miserable for Ryan Tannehill. They might be able to. I don't have confidence the Titans are going to win this game. Give me the Steelers. Steelers win. Steelers cover the spread. On to Ford Field, the New Orleans Saints travel to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. Steelers 1-2. The Saints, New Orleans Saints 1-2. Detroit 1-2. Who's going to get to 500? The Saints, they might be I think they're fooling themselves if they think. I think we are seeing the end of Drew Brees in New Orleans. Drew Brees can't win games with his arm anymore. The Saints' defense has not been good this year. It pretty much has to be the Alvin Kamara show. And if Detroit is able to stack the box, we might see a lot more of what happened to Detroit last week when they went to Arizona and pulled off a big upset against the Cardinals. The Lions, the offense is actually pretty good. I actually think Matthew Stafford has the arm. Drew Brees doesn't. Running. Can Adrian Peterson put on a show? That's the question there. But if Detroit is able to stack the box and shut down Alvin Kamara, I think we see an upset here, and I think that's what I am going to do. I am taking Detroit over New Orleans in this game. I think New Orleans has more holes than the Lions. The Lions will go into the bye week 2-2, and they may not be as bad as we thought they were. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts against the Chicago Bears. Oh, actually, another game that could be in question in Houston. The Minnesota Vikings against the Houston Texans. The Texans, the 3.5-point favorites. These are a battle of 2-0-3 teams. The Vikings, the defense is horrid. This might be a game where Dalvin Cook could go off. Maybe Kirk Cousins has a better game. But Deshaun Watson is the better quarterback. Even though the Texans' defense is terrible, I think the Texans have enough. I don't think they're as bad as what their 0-3 record resembles. So for me, I am taking the Texans to win, the Texans to cover. Now on to Chicago as the 2-1 Indianapolis Colts take on the 3-0 Chicago Bears. The Colts, the 2.5-point favorites. These are two quarterbacks where I'd say maybe average. Philip Rivers against Nick Foles. Foles is good in spurts. You'll get a few good games out of Foles, then you get a few stinkers out of Foles. Question is, how long will the good Foles last? For Indianapolis, maybe Rivers is not regressing as bad as I thought. But the Colts can run. I think the Colts have the defense to shut down. The Colts have played better defense as of late, and I think they might be able to shut down Nick Foles. But Chicago wants a good defense too, so I think they're going to be able to make. I think the defense for Chicago might just be good enough to make Philip Rivers the quarterback he really is. So this one is. I think I'm going to go Chicago in this game. I think Chicago's got the better defense. Chicago goes to 4-0. On to Tampa Bay, where the Los Angeles Chargers travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got the veteran in Tom Brady going up against the rookie in Justin Herbert. And of course, the coach who does not want to commit to Justin Herbert in Anthony Lynn. The problem is now Justin Herbert's going to see what getting hit is going to be like in the NFL. This Tampa Bay defense is one of the top defenses in the NFL. I think they're going to be able to shut down Austin Eckler, make Justin Herbert have to use his arm, and it's not going to be fun. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, they can run the ball. They can make Tom Brady look good by just make Tom Brady win by just being a game manager. Tampa Bay is the much better team in this game. So I am taking the Buccaneers to win. Easily wins, covers. But at 1 and 3 for the Chargers, I think the LA Chargers. I think Anthony Lynn's seat is going to start getting warm in LA after this game. I don't think Anthony Lynn should be the coach next year for Justin Herbert. They need to get a coach that will coach Justin Herbert. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens against the Washington Football Team. This one looks like, the Ravens are the 13-point favorites against the Washington Football Team. No surprise here. Haskins is not a good quarterback. I think Haskins is starting to look like a bust in the NFL. Washington's defense can hang for a while, but they have no offense, and they end up getting stuck on the field. Whereas Baltimore, they just lost badly to the Chiefs. They're going to be angry. They're going to look to take out their anger on somebody, and that's going to be the Washington Football Team. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have an awesome day throwing the football around, running the ball. They're going to get back on track. The defense is going to make life miserable for oh god, I'm got a brain fart again. But they're going to make life miserable for the Washington Football Team. But yeah, they're going to make life miserable for Dwayne Haskins. And Haskins is going to feel the hurt of the Ravens defense. It's going to be a very, very long day in DC. Ravens win. Ravens cover. Into Carolina, this could be one of the more interesting games of the week. The Arizona Cardinals travel to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. Carolina coming off a win over the LA Chargers. Arizona coming off. We'll see which Arizona may not necessarily one of the best teams playing on the East Coast. So they could be playing flat, or we could see a motivated Cardinals team after Kyler Murray played one of his worst games as an NFL pro against the Lions last week. We shall see what happens. But I think the Panthers defense is a bit underrated. They shut down Justin Herbert pretty well last week, and Teddy Bridgewater exactly hasn't looked too terribly bad under Matt Rule. Carolina has actually played over their heads. They may not win the game, get a lot of wins, but they always they've been competitive in all three of their games. And I think this is going to be another story where they're going to be very competitive against the Cardinals. And Cardinals being 3.5-point favorites, I'm not confident the Cardinals cover. But I do think the Cardinals will be angry enough. They're going to want to go to Carolina and get a win. And the defense is questionable at times, but I think Kyler Murray will be motivated to get the win. Arizona barely gets the win against Carolina. Next up in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Bengals take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bengals, the 3-point favorites. Joe Burrow looks like a franchise quarterback. This could also be a good game to get Joe Mixon going. They need to get Joe Mixon running the football. The Bengals have a tie already. Will they get a win? Jacksonville came back down to earth last week against Miami. They looked more like the Jacksonville football team we all knew and thought they were. Who wins? You know what? I'm going to go for it here. I think we see Joe Burrow get his first career NFL win this week. Give me the Bengals. They win. They cover. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks against the Miami Dolphins. The Seahawks, the 6.5-point favorites against Miami. This could be a trap game for Seattle. Fitzpatrick played pretty well against the Jaguars. And you know what? Fitzpatrick might have another good game against Seattle. Yes, Russell Wilson can carry a team. They have a great offense, but what they make up for in offense, they lack in defense. The Seattle defense is terrible. Seattle's defense has allowed 30 points in their first 3 games of the year. At some point, the defense is going to cost them a game. I think that Seattle could very likely come to Miami and play flat. That is a real possibility. And the Miami defense is better than what people think. But they're only going to be able to stop Russell Wilson for so long. There's also the real possibility at some point Ryan Fitzpatrick will make a turnover or make a mistake. This one's very intriguing. I'm going to take Seattle, but I'm not going to I don't think they're going to cover. Next one in a big mismatch, the Los Angeles Rams go home to play the New York Giants. New York Giants getting thoroughly dominated last week by the 49ers. And the LA Rams coming off a tough loss to the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a very good tune-up game for the Rams. I think without Saquon and now with Devontae Freeman running the football, Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life the whole game. This is going to be a good game for Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey to beat up on Daniel Jones. This is going to be a big-time mismatch in LA. This game's not even going to be close. I think the Rams will cover the 13-point spread. Give me the Rams. Now on to one of the better games of the week. The Buffalo Bills go to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Or in my neck of the woods, we are calling it the Central Valley Bowl. From Firebaugh, you've got playing for the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen. From Bakersfield, playing for the Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr. Two good quarterbacks. I kind of went back and forth with this game, and as much as I think the Raiders might win at home, unfortunately, the Raiders don't have the firepower. A lot of their starters are hurt this week. Josh Jacobs hurt. Waller hurt. Renfro hurt. Ruggs hurt. So this Raiders team is pretty banged up. And, I think Buffalo will still kind of go into Vegas, play a little flat. I think Buffalo is going to get the win in this game, but I am not confident they are going to cover the spread. In the game of the week at Arrowhead, the New England Patriots take on the Kansas City Chiefs. May not be Tom Brady's Patriots, but they are a Belichick team. And Belichick knows how to scheme against Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City. Surprisingly, they have a pretty decent defense. I actually am going to say this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think these are two. Kansas City's defense flies under the radar, and they showed their might last week against the Baltimore Ravens. But the Patriots defense, if there's one thing they know well, they know how to scheme against Patrick Mahomes. So I'm really thinking this could be a very low-scoring game, just because the two defenses are actually pretty high caliber. But who comes up victorious? Even though the Chiefs are the 7-point favorites in this game, I'm taking the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to go in and win with defense in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. The Chiefs get their first L of the year. Next up on Sunday Night Football, this one's a mismatch. The Philadelphia Eagles against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, the 7-point favorites. These are two teams trending opposite directions. Philadelphia, Wentz has looked horrid in his first 3 games of the year. What I expect maybe in this game is a bit more of, you might be seeing a lot more Jalen Hurts running the football. So you might see a lot more plays with Hurts this time. They need to get Zach Ertz involved. The defense has been downright awful. They gave up 23 to the Bengals last week. They've given up over 30 points to the Rams. And so on. They blew a game to the Washington football team. They are not a good team. Philly's season is in danger of falling off the rails. Yes, the 49ers have their fair share of injuries, but reinforcements are coming back. And last week they showed how deep and how well coached of a football team this 49ers bunch is. Mullins played like a winner. The defense, lacking Bosa, lacking Thomas, they were good enough. Verrett did a great job filling in for Richard Sherman. We saw Brandon Ayuk for the first time. Ayuk, he is a guy to watch at wide receiver. And if Deebo's back this week and Kittle's back this week, we are really going to see an offensive show here. I think it's going to be double trouble if it's Ayuk and Deebo. You're going to really see what what the true 49er offense was going to look like this year. And now you get Kittle. It might be a nightmare for this Eagles team. Niners win. Niners cover. Niners are not dead by any means. They are alive and well, flying under the radar. And on Monday Night Football, the Atlanta Falcons travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Boy, did Atlanta pick a wrong time to go to Lambeau. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to pick apart this Falcons secondary. It's going to be... But here's the thing. Green Bay's defense is not good. Not by any means. But I do think Aaron Rodgers has the arm to win a shootout. I think it will be Rodgers and company. They win it. They cover. And maybe by Tuesday we say goodbye to Dan Quinn at 0-4. Dan Quinn gets fired, or will be dangerously close to being fired in Atlanta. I think Atlanta needs to figure things out, and they picked a wrong time to play Green Bay. Those are my picks. Everybody have a good week. We'll be back Saturday night for the post-fight show after UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Jay Randomy. Good night, everybody.